Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Andini and now I will present to you about the upper limb prosthesis and upper limb orthosis. For the first discussion, we will talk about the fabrication. Fabrication. The following instruction and picture for manufacture have been taken from ICRC manufacturing guidelines. The alignment anterior, posterior, medial, and lateral are drawn of positive mode for the proper positioning of the wrist. In most cases, will be along central the axis of the transradial stab. Make a conical extension tube using EVA, plastic sheeting, or some other suitable material and place it according to the alignment lines for wrist positioning. Tape the cone in place. Now the extension cone will plastered up to 5 mm higher than level of the wrist, so as to leave room for shaping the correct angle of the wrist. Determining the length of the prosthesis. For transradial prosthesis, the length of the prosthesis is usually taken from the lateral condyle to ulnar styloid on the healthy side. The result is made 1 cm until 2 cm shorter. The aim is to ensure that eating and activities close to the body remain comfortable. Next is draping. Polypropylene sheet, raise circumference plus 2 cm and epicondyle circumference plus 4 cm and length of plaster cast is plus 15 cm.
And in it, we move to the draping.
Alright, okay. Next, we move to the draping process. The thickness is selected at 3 until 4 mm according to the patient activity requirement. The sheet is heated at temperature of around 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Once hot and flexible, the polypropylene is attached to the mold. The distal part is smooth and holes are made on medial or distal side to assist in the socket pulling process. If necessary, the position of the terminal device can be preset, for example, in slack flexion or radial deviation. Figure 8 harness. At this stage, we will install the harness, which we will serve as the suspension and control system for opening or closing the terminal device. The position of shafts and bearings. Shafts are placed near the center of rotation of the elbow. They should be on the center line of the socket and high enough so as not to press on the epicondyle. And then installing the anterior and posterior straps. The anterior strap is installed between the olecranon and acromion. The posterior strap prevents the stump from coming out of the socket during elbow flexion. A. Determining the position of the elbow. The process is similar to transradial. An alignment is drawn on the positive cast, a cone is made and filled with plaster according to the required socket length. The length of the prosthesis is calculated from the acromion to the lateral epicondyle on the healthy side, minus the length from the elbow axis to the distal elbow cup. Now, is draping. We will continue for polypropylene draping. Polypropylene is a cut according to the circumference of the cup and acromion head, then attached to the mold. Once the transradial or transhumeral socket is ready, we assemble the components. The elbow unit is installed, the forearm is cut to length, the wrist unit is installed using 4 screws. The ultimate goal is the total length of the prosthesis should be about 1 until 2 centimeters shorter than the healthy side, so that is the functional and comfortable. And then, last but not least, for the chapter fabrication and alignment is checkout. What must be ensured is first prosthetic length. For arm length, 0.21 multiple body height and check the fitting in 90-degree elbow flexion, and the user can flex elbow 100 of range of motion. Supination and pronation exceeds 50% of the range of motion. The terminal device can be opened and closing at the 90 degree position. The terminal device can be opened to 70% when near the mouth and waist. Alright, after we discuss about the fabrication and alignment, now we will discuss about the fitting. Specifically, is upper prosthetic, transradial, and transhumeral prosthesis. Our focus is to ensure a proper socket, optimal suspension, and efficient prosthesis control. First is pre-fitting preparation. Before treating begins, ensure 3 things. First is the prescription. The prescription matches with the patient, socket type, terminal device, and control system. Second is the prosthesis is ready for use. No sharp, no frayed cables, all components complete. And then third, if the patient is prepared, the stump is clean, there is no irritation, and the patient is ready for evaluation. To check before fitting. Trimline, match socket design, prosthesis dimension match the healthy side, socket contour, no excessive gaps or area over compression. Socket comfort when pressure or torsion is applied. Suspension and harness are in the correct position. For conventional socket, check the tricep. And then we talk about the donning and doffing. For the northwestern socket, insert with elbow flexion according to stump length is 40 degree. For long stump, up to 80 until 90 degree for short stump. The donning angle should be close to the angle during casting. Now we will discuss about the Monster socket. Monster socket donning at 90-degree flexion or more. If the angle is not correct, the socket will not sit optimally. Right, now is fitting and evaluation. Trimline and dimension. Prosthesis line. Medial epicondyle terminal device. Tip length of the healthy size minus 1 centimeter. If there is difference, record it for correction. And socket comfort. Perform a total contact test. Distal, proximal, medial, lateral, pronation, and supination. Test at 90-degree flexion elbow. While applying distal radial pressure, there should be no pain or excessive pressure. Alright, and suspension, harness, and control cable. This is the harness figure 8. And this is ori or horsepine. The position of horsepine is below C7 and toward 1 centimeter to the hull side. And this is axilla loop. Axilla loop must be soft and no trap. This is hanger and In hanger, there is a stopper. This is cable and housing cable. This is tricep pad, and this is crossbar. The position is of crossbar is in center of tricep pad. This is Y strap, and this is bearing. This is elbow hinge, and this is the socket. This is the distal strap and padding. This is proximal strap and padding. This is the base plate and retainer. This is cable housing, and this is terminal device. Look in voluntary opening. Next is range of motion elbow and forearm. Flexion and extension must be free. Pronation and supination must not be reduced more than 50% unless the socket is rigid or self-suspending. Northwestern must have full range of motion. Western limits flexion to approximately 70 degrees from the starting position. Terminal device must be able to open and close full 8 waist level elbow extension and nerve mode with maximum elbow flexion. And then stamp inspection. After loading, ensure there is no excessive pressure. If there's irritation, socket modification is required. Transhumeral prosthesis checkup. Socket fitting. The socket should be provided a compression fit without pain. And then the elbow joint stability. Lock the elbow at 90 degrees, apply downward weight. There should be no shifting. Shoulder and elbow range of motion. The patient must be able to abduction 90 degree, internal and external rotation 45 degree, flexion 90 degree, and extension 35 degree. Elbow flexion can reach 135 degree. Terminal device function can open and close fully at 90-degree elbow, minimum 70% opening near the mouth and waist. Can walk and abduct 60 degree without elbow lock. Terminal device can be used in the zipper area and up to near the mouth. Alright. After we discuss about the fabrication and alignment, and then we will discuss about the fitting, and now we will discuss about the anatomy upper limb. Upper extremity bone structure. The upper arm has a total of 30 bones, consisting of shoulder girdle. Shoulder girdle is there's a scapula and clavicle. Upper arm humerus, lower arm radius and ulna. And then hand. Hand is have 8 carpal bones, 5 metacarpal bones, and 14 phalanx. Shoulder girdle. The shoulder girdle regulates arm position through scapula movement. Main movement of scapula, there's elevation, upper trapezius, and levator scapula. Depression, lower trapezius. Protraction, serratus anterior. Retraction, rhomboids. Upward rotation, trapezius. Downward rotation, rhomboids. Joints. There's a sternoclavicular joint, saddle joint, and then acromioclavicular joint, shoulder joint. The shoulder joint is a ball and socket joint. allowing for a wide range of motion, movements, and primary muscles. First is flexion. The primary muscles is anterior deltoid and bicep brachii. Extension, abduction. 0 out of 15 degree is supraspinatus. 15 until 90 degree is deltoid. More than 90 degree is scapular rotation. Adduction is pectoralis major. Internal rotation subscapularis. External rotation infraspinatus and teres minor. Short range of motion. Flexion 180 degree, extension 60 degree, abduction 180 degree, external rotation is 90 degree, internal rotation is 70 degree. Then rotator cuff. The rotator cuff is known by the acronym SITS, supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and then subscapularis. It functions to maintain shoulder and stability and control rotation. Lower arm muscle, anterior muscle, finger and wrist flexion. There's a flexor carpi radialis, flexor carpi ulnaris, flexor digitorum superficialis, deep finger flexor, long thumb flexor. After we talk about the anterior, and then now we talk about the posterior. Posterior muscle extension. There's a finger extensor, long and short radial wrist extensor, and the last is ulnar wrist extensor. Now we talk about the hand, joints and movement. The hand has 27 bones and is very complex. Main joints. There's a radiocarpal joint, wrist. Flexion 80 degree, extension 70 degree, and carpometacarpal thumb, saddle joint, allows opposition, and then metacarpophalangeal, condyloid, then interphalanx, hinge joint. Types of grips. First is pinch grip. There's a tip to tip, three jaw chuck, and K pinch. Second is power grip. There's a cylindrical and spherical. Third is hook grip. Involves flexing the fingers without using the thumb. Alright, we have discussed for many things. First, we discussed about the fabrication and alignment. Then, we discussed about the fitting. And the last, we discussed about the anatomy upper extremity. I hope what I have shared is useful. I'm sorry for any mistakes. Thank you for attention. And as I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.